All right, guys, looking at the SPY here for the watch list video for July 27th, which will be Wednesday. Maybe the best July in my life. It's just been unbelievable out there. And you wouldn't know it looking at the SPY. I mean, we are at all-time highs, but the SPY is in a very narrow, choppy, sideways range. So you wouldn't think, looking at that there's probably a lot of intraday activity. But, man, these low floaters are paying huge. So let's go into the watch list for tomorrow. All right, CCCL, again, 17 million shares yesterday, and so an inside day today. I just want to watch that for a potential long tomorrow. Don't have any kind of trigger price. We'll watch it trade, right? And if it gives us a low risk setup, we'll take a trade. CIDM did put in a green day today, you know, kind of a nice little hammer candle, only 89,000 shares, so this is kind of lost its oomph, for lack of a better term, but it's also a handsome chart setup. Pop, flag. So this one might push back up through 2 and maybe retake that almost 250 high. We'll see. It's worth having on a chart. KOOL, this was a monster in chat today. It did give back some of its gains, closing, strangely enough, right there at the 200-day after ripping up through it. On an intraday basis, I had this on the watch list because if you watched the video last night, take today's candle out of it. I really liked the chart starting to break out of this, you know, long, tight support range, right? So it looked good, and then today ends up gapping up. So it was one of my favorites because it's such a low float stock, and I know it can run really well at times. So when it looked like this, I called it at 370. I said if it gets up to 370, that's the entry area I like. Looking for a quick push through the high of the day, and it's not hard to see what happened. It went over. Geez, I don't know, went up over, how high did it go? It went to 684. It made a $3.14 move in our favor. The stop was 20 cents below. Never even thought about looking back after the entry. 84% move after the call. Call was right about here on this candle. And that's the way the market's been lately. We've been finding some monsters. Second day in a row, we've had one halt on us because of upside volatility move in our favor. That's always a fun problem to have. So we'll keep watching that one. Let's see, XCOM. I tell you what, I think Wayne and somebody else called this today right here when it was pushing through the highs, and it gave a really nice percentage move. I missed it, but you know what? It goes back on watch. If it's making these nice moves, held up fairly well, I want to watch this for a potential continuation still. So it just goes on a chart. XCOM, don't have any kind of trigger price based on the daily chart. BNSO, only 581,000 shares, but you know, it's trying to break out of a long consolidation. And as you know, if you watch my videos, I like stocks that have proven that they can go ballistic. And this one certainly did back here. Let's see, it was November 3rd. Went from $1.14 to $3.25. And then you can see a couple failed spikes, failed spike, but now it closed near its high. So that's a pretty good candidate. I haven't checked the float. I'll do that right now. Yeah, it looks like 1.7 million, so tiny float. So this one's certainly worth watching tomorrow. That's BNSO. CALI, it's extended. It's away from the moving averages, but it's also super strong, and it made this move on just a million shares. So maybe a red to green in that one tomorrow. We'll keep it on watch. EXAS, very strong volume, very nice push. Called this one today. I'll have to use like 1 minute candles to show you. We threw this on the gap play watch list. And about 3 minutes in, I said, I like this if it gets back up above 15. Broke 15. I don't make a call unless I have another catalyst that's very close, okay? So the break of 15, I was looking for a quick move to 15.19 and light up the new high of day ticker and then maybe get going. And that's exactly what happened. It went all the way to 17.50. Very nice one there. That's another huge one from today. While I'm talking about today, just a couple others that aren't, like SGY is not on watch for tomorrow, but Wayne called this long today over 13.29, and we got a pretty quick move, and that was right here. Got a pretty quick move, what, 15 or 20 minutes? It went to 14.74. I had a monster gain in that one. SGY, EBIO, I think Wayne called this one too at 320 right here. About, what, 10, 12 minutes in. Went all the way to over 440. It's just been, the chat room's been unbelievable, and the market's been unbelievable. And then lastly, as far as the gainers go from today, I called OPTT right here, around $9.30, and in about 10 minutes it was at over 10.50, and it ended up going through 11. That was another monster trade. But that just an example of some of the monster moves this market is making. Best July of my life. All right, so anyway, I left off on, just see, CALIEXAS. OPGN is the next one I'm watching tomorrow. This one had a move from $1.63 to $4.65. That's a monster move, and now you're 1, 2, 3, like 4 days lower, getting into that buy zone. Even a retest of this, break of the high, the May high here. That's kind of, if you look at the chart, right there is kind of a breakout over any recent high, right? And it happened on that big day. Now we're kind of coming down, revisiting that below the 8-day. So this one is a pretty good candidate and tiny volume. Pretty good candidate. It's one of my favorites for tomorrow for a possible bounce. But again, only with the intraday setup that we look for. ZAIS, another one that had pops. He had 3 nice pops, and now we're 3 days lower back down to the 20-day. Another good setup. See the volume on those pops and the low volume on the pullback? That one certainly looks good for tomorrow. GBR, monster move, 2 days lower, goes on bounce watch. And then lastly, I have TOPS, a couple really nice days, and now revisiting that 3 support. Also, if you look here, the breakout area, right? That's the most recent high on the breakout day. So that's the list. A lot of potential bounce plays on these recent low floaters, high flyers, right? And then we'll also add gap plays to the watch list in the morning as well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.